Hi, this is Violet from Scrappy Mania, and today I want to show you this stamp called The Look, and it's by Stupendous. And I love this stamp because it has already the face, kind of some of the face, especially the eyes and the nose. Sometimes I have a hard time creating profiles. So this stamp allows me to kind of start the face, but then I can kind of use my own artwork to create the hair and other embellishments on the doll. And it comes with an extra rose and a feather, so I love that. This stamp also comes with a stencil, and what I've done is I outlined the stencil and I also placed it top and bottom. And you can create fun looks with this stencil because you can, one thing I want to do that I'm not going to do today, but I'll have another art journal where I show you how to do this. You can use your jelly plate and create a nice interesting background. Before you put this on the jelly plate, you can place your template so that way the area around the template does not get stamped or anything on, won't get the background. You can peel that off, and then after you do that, you just simply place your face on there and stamp that. So I think that will look nice, but today I'm just going to show you the stamp, and this is also, you can cut these apart. Go ahead and cut these apart. It has little tabs, so once you kind of once you drawn around, so that way you can see it, because it's very clear, so that's why I would have used my Sharpie to kind of mark it around. You can just remove these tabs. You can pull them, and then you can use this to kind of create your outline for your hair. So I'm just going to create an outline for my hair. Just that, just an outline, and then just save these. Don't throw these away. You can do really nice, fun techniques with these. So now I'm just going to take my stamp, and I'm going to go ahead and stamp it there. And I'm going to use a Fisker stamp. And then, because I have a lot of texture in my art journal, I'm going to go ahead and lay it down. Get my Fisker stamp. Place this down. And I didn't plan it too well because this thing is too big. So let me use my hand. Just plop it down there. And it did come out okay. Didn't get a greatest impression, but that's fine. What we can do is we can go over it with a pen and just finish these areas. So now I'm ready to color. I'm going to go ahead and speed up the video and hope you like it. I'm going to use some Caran d'Ache, and this is the portrait colors for the face. And then what I'm also going to be using is some of my Spectral Noir colors. And for her, I'm going to use my primaries. And hopefully it will come out. So for her skin tones, I'm using the Collage Portrait set, which is a Neocolor 1, which are wax pastels. I thought these were the water soluble ones, but they weren't. And I'm still trying to use them, but I don't like them as much as I like my watercolor Prima skin tones that they just came out this year. But here I'm placing these down, and then I'm trying to use some mineral oil to blend it in. And now I'm using my color pencils to color her hair, and using 3 different colors to give her high, mid-tones, and low tones. And I cannot tell you which sets I was using because I was just going through all the different Spectral Noir sets to try to get the different tones that I wanted. And here I'm having a hard time with the first layer of color that was my Caran d'Ache Neo Color 1. And I just didn't like it. It looked a little too patchy. So I decided to take a paintbrush and use some mineral oil to blend that in. And that worked a little better. And then I'm using the same mineral oil to blend the watercolors. So here I'm just kind of using my color pencils to create a background. And at first I was going to use some more of that mineral oil that I had to kind of help blend it in. But I just didn't like how it was looking, so I ended up going for my Portfolio's water-soluble crayons. And I'm putting a nice coat of that and using my fingers to smear that. And then in a moment I'm going to go ahead and use some water to blend all that in. And I'm going to dry the background. So here I remember that I had a bunch of these jelly prints that I created in a homemade video that I show you how to create it in my gelatin plate. And I went ahead and decided to stamp off some flowers using this paper, and then to give it a little more realistic look, I went over the flowers with my color pencils, and I'm adding some shades, some low and high tones to my flowers. And then I'm using some blending solution to blend the colors. Then I'm going to cut all these out by hand. Here, even though you don't see the flowers very well against this dark background, they do come out pretty nice. You'll see in a moment once I cut it out, they do come out very nice. So I'm going to use this Prima texture paste, and it's the Golden Crackle. And I already went ahead and cut everything out, and see how pretty it looks when you use your stencils and your stamps on top of jelly plate paper. So you know when you create a lot of these prints, just save these out and try them with your stamps, and it really looks very nice. Your flowers look very, very interesting, as you can see here, and that's going to look very lovely on my page. So now what I want to use is this stencil that I made using just some acetate and my Cricut, and this is part of the edge to edge cartridge, so I use that to create my stencil. And let me go ahead and put some texture paste. Now you want to mix your texture paste, especially the gold crackle, so that way you make sure that it's all nicely mixed. And then just put some on top. The thicker you put it on, the more crackles you're going to get. Now, the Prima Crackle paint, it's a little different than regular modeling paste. It's a little more watery, but it does come out pretty nice also. The only thing I was expecting like more crackles, but this product doesn't give you a huge crackle, just a little bit. So here what I wanted to do is I wanted to stamp some background grunge kind of look, and I did not want to affect the doll, so the masking came in very handy. So I used the template that came with the stamp, and I used that to kind of protect her face, so that way I can do the background collage and the background grunge look. Now I'm using some gel medium to put all my flowers down, so I want to create a nice huge cluster. And also I used a jelly print that you saw earlier. I cut it in 3, and I put some of that jelly print on top, on the sides. And now I'm just putting 1 coat of gel medium, so that way it will seal all my watercolor paints and all my other collage on the page. And then I wanted to outline it a little more, and I'm using my mixed media pen, and this is the Fude pen. It's a Japanese pen, and I've seen this type of pen used in other videos, and sometimes it does work. You just got to make sure that your mixed media is, the gel that you've used to seal your paper is completely dry before you try to use this pen, because otherwise it will not work. And then here I wanted to stamp a saying, and the saying is create something and beautiful. So here's my page. It's all completed, and I wanted to put the saying create something beautiful. So I really like this doll. I mean, it really inspired me. I definitely really like the stencil, because as you can see, I can put some acrylic. I can mask the whole stencil itself, the whole image, and then I can splatter, do whatever effects I want on my page, and my doll does not get any of that. It just stays in the background. So I really, really like the stencil. So if you see this stencil, don't throw it away. You want to save it and to just put it back in the package. And I didn't even clean mine. I just put in here. And I was thinking about putting a little bit of repositional glue on the back, so that will I can place it down and it will stick to my page. That might be a possibility, but right now I think I'll leave it for how it is right now. But that might be something I'll do in the future. But I really like how it came out. The crackles, as you can see in the crackle paste, it's very fine. It's not huge crackles. So that came out nice. And I do love the effect of stamping on some print paper, some jelly paper that you've created. It really makes nice images. And I also like the idea of, this is a stencil that I use and that I put on my jelly plate. And just cutting that out and use it for little areas in my page. I really like how that came out. So I hope you liked this video, and thank you for watching. Bye now.